Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's session of the Reverse Mentorship for CIBN. And today I'm going to be talking on a very simple topic. I'm going to be sharing a very simple and interesting topic, which is from experience to influence, creating impact beyond the role. I'll take that again: from experience to influence, creating impact beyond the role. Now, let me start by sharing a story. There are a majority of persons who are in a professional environment. There are a majority of persons who are currently carrying out a job role, and because they are in that job role, they find it difficult to explore. They find it difficult to begin to do things that align with their own vision. All they begin to do is channeled towards the vision of the organization or the company that they work for. And this is the reason why many persons who had visions before starting up a professional engagement, before starting up a professional role, many persons who had a vision, who had a drive, who had something influential that they wanted to give out to the world, these dreams begin to die to some extent because they are now like tied down with job tasks and so many other things that they are supposed to meet up and catch up with in their places of work, right? So this topic is very, very, very important. That is why I'm sharing this topic, from experience to influence. There are many persons who have been tied down, but they don't have that room for impact, and it is not mostly going to be the fault of the organization they work for. It's not mostly going to be the fault of whoever is giving them the job role to carry on. It is 100% or 90% the fault of the individual himself, because no amount of role should tie you down from fulfilling your own vision and your own purpose. So let's understand the difference. There's a very huge difference between experience and influence. Many people conflict these two words. Many people many persons take in experience for influence. They feel like, oh, once I'm working in an organization, at least I am better than those persons who have not started working. I'm better than those persons who don't have the knowledge. Let's say because I've been working here, I have the experience year 1, year 2, year 3. I've been working here consistently, and they believe they have the experience and they have the influence over the other person. Now, that is where people mistake this a lot. Experience and influence are two different things. And what are the difference? Experience is what you gain by doing something repeatedly. It is what you gain by doing something over and over and over again. You do the same thing year 1, do the same thing year 2, do something again year 3, do something year 4, year 5. That is experience. You're building your experience. That is putting you in a position whereby if someone asks you to do something relating to that line, you'll be able to do it with ease. So that's they kind of have advantage over those persons who do not have the experience in those roles. So that's why they compete for the influence over that particular thing. Why influence, on the other hand, is what others gain because of you, the value you have, the impact you're giving to people. What can people are people benefiting from you? For you to say you are influential, it means you are positively or negatively impacting people's lives. You're positively or negatively impacting people's lives. So that's what influence is all about. It's all about you impacting people either positively or negatively, and influence actually lasts longer than any position you hold, because in experience, you can be having an experience in a place of work for a particular period of time, and you won't be able to pass it on to the next generation. You won't be able to share anything or impact anybody with that position, and once you leave, you've left. While influence has to do with is something that lasts even after you've left that particular job role. So today, professionals are no longer only interested in, they are no longer limiting themselves to their work. They are no longer limiting themselves to the job that they are carrying out. Now, professionals are looking for how to create value. They are looking for how to impact people. They are looking forward to, they are known for, majority of them now are known for the jobs they can do. Not necessarily the jobs they can do, but they are known for the knowledge they share. the impacts that they make, the people that they mentor. And based on the fact that we are in a digital world currently, we know many persons. We know many persons who are out there who are making impact outside their job roles. We have the likes of Eric Google, we have the likes of Financial Jennifer when it comes to the finance industry, because of course we are in the finance industry. If we look at the finance industry, we can see Tony Elumelu, right? We can see Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala and so many other persons who are creating impact outside their work environment, outside the things that they do. And most times, these people don't even tell us about their work. We Majority of the times they don't come online to say, okay, this is the work I'm doing, but we know, actually we know, but they won't say it. But someone like Financial, we know her for her community, we know her for the knowledge she shares, and she also has a job she's doing alongside, right? So that is what impact is all about. It is not just limited to your job role. Many persons enter the professional space, many persons enter the career space with so many dreams, so many visions. They had innovations, they had creative ideas that they would have accomplished, but they just needed a little experience to make them execute that innovation or creativity effectively. But in the line of getting that experience, they get stuck. They get stuck in becoming creative, they become comfortable, right? So experience kind of makes you to remain at a particular spot for more period of time. So you can see, so this conversation matters because there are so many persons, professionals these days, they are not just tied to their job. They don't just want to do the job anymore, because if you lose the job now, what happens? Nobody gives you a job forever, right? Nobody. You will definitely get to a stage in your life where you retire. Okay, now let's take for instance Tony Elumelu. We know Tony Elumelu Foundation. We know the thousands of Africans that he has reached throughout his foundation, through his foundation, right? Through his foundation. Now imagine Tony Elumelu does not work again. He doesn't work. He stops working. Imagine someone like Financial Jennifer stops working. Imagine someone like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala stops working. People will still have what to consume from them, right? People will have what to learn from them on a daily basis, because they have built themselves in a way, they've wired themselves in a way that they made themselves visible for people to learn from them. They made themselves visible. Became influential enough that they impact people positively, right? They know their audience, they know what they want to do. So they are not just recognized for the positions that they are holding, right? They are known in and out. That is what influence is all about, not just the job role. They do it through sharing knowledge, etc. Right? So let's move forward. Now I'll be sharing three dimensions of influence. You want to make influence as a job, as a worker, as a 9 to 5er, as someone who is currently in the professional space. You want to have influence, you want to make impact beyond the role, because it's not all about the experience. People need to know you. God has actually placed things in our hands, and we must not let it die because we are working under someone, right? So while building the experience, how can we be influential? We can also be influential at our places of work. We can also be influential at our places of work as we are building, and also at the same time executing our own vision. So I'll be sharing three dimensions of influence, and the first one is influence through knowledge. Influence through knowledge, and this is done, example, so many persons through mentoring, teaching, speaking, writing, coaching. These are ways people engage. There are so many persons, the books we read today, the ideas, the podcasts we listen to, the mentorship we engage in. For instance, the CIBN mentorship, this one we are currently carrying on. CIBN woke up, they understood that, okay, there are so many young persons in the university, there are so many persons who are yet to graduate, and they do not have experience when it comes to learning, when it comes to fitting in opportunities in the professional space. They don't have this experience yet. Okay, these fresh graduates, what can we do to them? What can we do for them? How can we position them better? How can we equip them better? CIBN identified that problem, and then they decided to step out. To create impact outside their job role. Of course, we know what the CIBN is known for, Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria. Mentorship is actually not part of their jurisdiction. It's more like a professional body to maintain ethical conduct in the banking profession, right? But mentorship is not really part of mentoring. This is kind of a new development. So they noticed, they said, okay, for these people to be in these shoes, for these young graduates to graduate without being able to fit into roles, how about we mentor them? How about we prepare them? How about we share knowledge and share value to them so they can be able to fit into opportunities when the time comes? And then they thought of setting up a mentorship session like this. They thought of setting up a mentorship session like this. And this mentorship session, people will grow tomorrow, people will rise to the extent tomorrow, and they will be like, oh, it was CIBN mentorship session that made me understand this. It was CIBN mentorship session that made me understand how to do this after graduation, after graduating, how to do this, how to position, how to do so many things. And that is impact. So many people begin to identify themselves with CIBN. So many people will begin to notice that, oh, it was CIBN that did this. Same thing with Financial Jennifer. They don't know how for hard work, but who there are so many persons who would wake up one day and say, oh, it was because of Financial Jennifer that I was able to learn how to save. It was Financial Jennifer that made my financial life to be more worthy. It was Financial Jennifer that made me understand why I need to invest as a market woman, why I need to invest as a young person. So you can see that these are influences. These are people making impact outside their job roles. Why is it that Tony Elumelu will not just focus on his banking? He of course has every reason to focus on just banking. Why did he set up the Tony Elumelu Foundation? Because he knows that influence is what great people do. Creating impact is what great people do. They will not leave the young people, they will not leave the younger generation to suffer what they have suffered. So they feel like sharing this knowledge, building and impacting lives positively will go a long way. So I kind of find it so bad that many professionals today, many people who are working in professional spaces, and most times many young persons, they limit themselves to just the work that they are doing. They don't want to create, they don't want to build any life of impact for themselves, and that is very wrong. It is important that we move from experience to impact. We can look around ourselves. There are so many things we are good at. There is a knowledge you have that so many persons out there want to learn from. There's a knowledge you have. So many people out there want to understand something, and you're the only one that can provide solutions to that. These are little ways you can build influence and impact. And the second one is influence through community. Influence through community. You don't have to be comfortable at your own particular spot. People online, these persons online that we see have so many followers, so many engagements. They are building a community. Now, I'm not talking about the ones that actually don't know what they are doing or who are passing out negative energies, right? There are people who are committed to building an online community and impacting on them positively, right? The example I've been giving, I don't know why I keep using Financial Jennifer, but the example I've been giving, it is an online community she has, right? It's an online community she has. Someone like Eric Gugwa, the crooner of Beyond Conversation, it is an online community he has. And these people might have job roles that they carry out behind the scenes, but we do not know about it. Nobody actually knows anybody that is just glued to a particular job role. Nobody would actually know you. People know people who make impact. People value, and people would come in contact with people who make impact and who have influenced their lives positively. So influence through community, that is another way you can set up or build up an influence as someone who is working. The third one is influence through innovation. Influence through innovation, creativity. Like I said earlier, there are many persons who has a creative idea. For instance, let me give an example. Someone can be working in investment banking today, a young man working in investment banking. And because this man is working in investment banking, he notices and he said, oh, I have studied Afrinvest, I have studied Cowrywise, I have studied several banking several investment banks, several investment platforms, digital investment platforms, and I can see a gap. I can see that something is missing. I can do it better, right? I can do it better. I can provide a more better solution for this cause. And that creativity alone, pushing it, innovation, pushing that simple innovation can bring you out of nowhere. People begin to see you as someone who thinks. You begin to it kind of expands your reach, expands what, unlike someone who just remains at the place of work, who just keeps doing the same thing for years and then comes out and nothing comes out. So while we are building, while we are gaining experience, we have to also be looking forward to building a life of impact. Creativity, we have to be creative, right? In the banking sector, I've been entertaining customers, I've been serving customers here and here and here and here, but this is something that I have noticed. This is something I have noticed, right? This is something I have noticed. I can make it better. I can make it better. Share your innovation with people who won't steal it and then run with the vision. Even while you're doing your 9 to 5, I can bet you that these are ways people build influence. People who build influence are not people who keep their creativity within themselves, who lock down everything because of pay that they are being paid, right? So these are 3 dimensions, 3 ways people can rise to influence from experience. So these are many and many others. It is very important that we remain curious. It is very, very important we remain curious because it is the antidote for comfort. If we decide to remain comfortable, because I can tell you that there are so many persons who are working, it is comfort that is making them not to drive influence. It is comfort. They are comfortable. Maybe there's a steady pay and they don't want to lose it anytime soon. So they feel they are comfortable, right? So this is a very important topic I just thought to share. One of the greatest dangers of experience is becoming comfortable. But influence demands someone that is curious. We need to remain curious. That our place of work, we're working with softwares, we're working with this. How can this be better? How can this be better? You know this and you feel it can impact the younger generation. Share the knowledge. You can volunteer for mentorships, you can volunteer to do certain things and so many other things. All these are ways we can grow from experience to influence. So lasting impact comes from professionals who stay hungry to discover what they don't know yet. So we have to keep being experienced. So these are professionals who have led you to influence, that have shared Tony Elumelu and Ngozi Okonjo Iweala. So this is my simple presentation to you tonight, and I feel we all should get to a point where we rise from experience to impact. We were not born for that role. We were not born for that particular role. We were not born. We were born to keep growing and becoming influential. Even in our place of work, we can build impact. We can build influence. We can build a communication with our customers that we work with, and they get to learn a lot from us. They get to learn a lot from us. That is also a way of building influence, right? While we are working, while we are building, while we are growing on our career path, we must not shut down our minds to explore. We must not shut down our minds to become influential and impactful. This is why people begin to take speaking engagements. This is why people begin to innovate. This is why people begin to volunteer for mentorship sessions. So many institutions now, they are trying to affiliate themselves with schools, the younger community, because they know that those people are the leaders. They are the persons who are going to fill in the gaps that they are going to be leaving empty, right? They are the persons who are going to be filling the gaps. So this conversation is for us professionals, for us who are growing in the professional space. And by the grace of God, I know we are going to grow from experience to impact. Thank you very much for listening, and I am super grateful to be able to share this knowledge with us today. Thank you and have a good day.